Why do most entrepreneurs stay stuck, no matter how many books they read? So you've read 50 books this year. So what? What have you actually done with reading those books? What have you done off the back of reading them? When you read a book, do you think, what am I taking from this so that I can put it into action for myself? Today, I'm calling out the hard truth. It's not more information you need, it's more integration, more action off the back of the things that you need. I'm Grant Hutchby, and this is another episode of the Carnivore Entrepreneur Show, and I really want to help successful but stuck entrepreneurs reclaim their strength, their energy, and ultimately their purpose. So, if you are successful but stuck entrepreneur, then this is going to be the movement and the show for you, because I've been there. I have been the successful but stuck entrepreneur that you are right now, and I want to help you get the life that you want on your terms. So I've read hundreds of books. I've listened to hundreds of books as well. Listening back in probably 2016, 2017, started listening to lots of books while I was driving, because I did a lot of driving for my corporate job. And that really got me started. And yes, you absolutely need to read books, and it gives you the inspiration that you need for whatever it is you're going to do with your life. However, there comes a point where you have to put those things that you've read, those things that you've learned, the knowledge that you've taken, you have to put them into action. And this is what we like to call turning information into integration. And that's where the secret sauce is. Even if it's just one thing that you take from each book that you read and integrate it into making your life what you want it to be. So it doesn't have to be loads of things. You don't have to think about loads of things. Books cost £20, £25, sometimes even cheaper than that. I mean, you can get Audible books for $7.99, right? And cheaper if you buy credits in subscription. But the point that I'm trying to get to is, if that $7.99, that £20 only gave you one thing, but that one thing made you hundreds, thousands, stopped you from losing hundreds of thousands, you know, that money that you spent on that book was then worth it. However, if you did nothing from reading that book, then it wasn't worth it at all. You've even wasted your time to read that book. Here's a little hack that I've got. So sometimes books don't resonate, and you don't know whether that book is going to resonate with you unless you've read it, you've listened to it. What I do is, in my downtime, time that I wouldn't be normally doing anything, like driving, walking somewhere, doing the shopping, I will have an audio book on, you know, doing the dishes, cooking, things like that. Stuff that you're doing that doesn't require much brain power to do. So you can have something in your ear that you can listen to. I have it on 1.5 speed. I know some people that have it on 2 times speed. Just have it on a speed as fast as you can, where you can still pick up the words. And what that allows you to do, it allows you to get through books really, really quickly. And then the books that you really, really like and that you resonated with you and that you think are relevant to what you're trying to achieve, you can then slow them right down, or even order the paperback book. And that's what I do, is I listen to them really fast. Then when I've got books that really resonate with me and stuff that's relevant to what I'm trying to do at the moment, I will then order the paperback book. And then hack number 2 is I listen to the audio book at the same time as reading the book as well. So there's some amazing hacks. So hack number 1, listen to books really fast to start off with. Make sure they resonate with you. Then if they resonate with you, order the paperback and then listen and read at the same time. And you'll take in a hell of a lot more, and you'll pick out those things that you need to implement into your life and or your business. So by reading books and implementing the information that I've taken in, that's where a lot of the frameworks that I've built for the Carnivore Entrepreneur have come from. So things like the 12-week planning method, that came off the back of a book called Measure What Matters by John Doerr. It talks about objectives and key results, and they always work on quarters. So what they do is they set goals of big overhanging objectives, and then they have a few key results that are specific enough to, if you achieve them, the objective is hit. And that's just an example. So that's like the 12-week plan. The other one is results planning. So I tend to not put in tasks and actions until I'm either a few weeks out and on the week. I don't put in actions and things like that if I'm more than a few weeks out, because those actions can change. And sometimes you don't even need to do the action to achieve the results. So that's an example. The other one is the performance plate framework. So the performance plate framework is absolutely down to a lot of the nutrition books that I've read, stuff that I've read on Mike Mentzer, and I've got the nutrition pyramid. So there are many books that I've read that have formed a lot of the frameworks that I've got. The DDD-Done Framework, again, is from places like Measure What Matters, and I've got the snowball effect, which is for communication. So the DDD-Done Framework, there's obviously one of the D's is delegation, and the snowball effect is great for how to delegate to people, how to follow up. Other frameworks that have come off the back of lots of books that I've read, but I don't just read and then write a framework. That's not what it's all about. I read the book and then I implement what I've read. I test it over a long period of time. And when it works, that's when I've built the frameworks. So you're more than welcome to download all of the free tools that I've got available just by clicking on the link in my bio, in all of my socials. There's a link to download any of the tools that I mentioned today. And all of that stuff is totally free of charge. I want to give away as much as I possibly can. So the performance plate framework, the 12-week planning method, that's all fully available to download, and my book as well, which has most of the frameworks in there also. So here's an action for you. If you're not reading books, start reading the books. That's where you need to first start. So if you're not reading or listening to books, start. The next thing is, if you're already reading books, but maybe you're not implementing as much as you want to, maybe the books aren't resonating with you, because this can happen. You can order books and then you want to start reading them and they become laborious to sit down and read because you're not resonating with them. That's where the hack comes in, where you can listen through a book really quickly, make sure that you resonate with it. And if you find yourself getting halfway, 3/4 of the way through, and you're really not resonating with it and you don't like it, you can scrap that book, move on to another one. But when you order a book and it's one to read, you've already listened to it and you know that you're going to resonate with it. And then you end up taking a lot more from it. So what I want you to do, this is the action. I want you to think about the last book, non-fiction book that you read, and go back to it, have a flick through it, read it again, whatever that might be, as long as it resonated with you. So the last book that resonated with you, think of one thing that you can implement from that book and implement it tomorrow. Don't wait, get something in the bag and implement it. And I'm talking to you, the person that keeps delaying anything, delaying all the things that you know you should do. So like Tony Robbins says, stop shoulding all over yourself, right? I should do this, I should do that. Change your shoulds for musts. So you must go back to the last book that resonated with you. Think of one thing, have a flick through it or whatever. Think of one thing that you're going to implement from that book and do it tomorrow. If not today, but definitely tomorrow. And that's your action. So stop just consuming and start integrating. Start creating something from the information that you've taken in. So integration, not information, or transition from information to integration. And absolutely feel free to download the Carnivore Entrepreneur Toolkit that is absolutely free of charge. Yes, you've got to give your details. However, I'm giving away loads of stuff for free. And if you give your details, you'll always stay in the loop of things that we're doing and all the free stuff that we're going to give away, because I absolutely just want to help the successful but stuck entrepreneur. Yes, you, the successful but stuck entrepreneur, reclaim their strength, their energy, and their purpose, but ultimately live life on your terms as it was supposed to be lived. So this has been all about integrating the information that you take in. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Let anyone know that you might find this useful. This has been an episode of the Carnivore Entrepreneur Show, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care now. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You are a carnivore entrepreneur. Live life how it was supposed to be lived on your terms with strength, energy, and purpose. I'll see you on the next episode.